Hi, it's Brian Decker with your Market Minute. Want to talk about the budget deficit. I'm going to talk quickly because there's a ton of information. But some people say, hey, we can tax our way out of a $2 trillion annual deficit. Now, remember, there's two deficits. One is the annual deficit, and the second is the cumulative deficit of 33 trillion. So how do we handle just the annual deficit of $2 trillion? Let's talk about the discussion of, quote, make the rich pay their fair share. The top 1% of taxpayers, they paid 42% of the total taxes of the country. The top 5% paid 49%. And so what is the fair share of the top taxpayers if the top three tiers are representing 49%? Do we pay 70 or 80, 100%? If 73% isn't fair, I wonder what is. But let's talk about the way to try to hit this. If in budgetary terms, the best case outcome of Congress passing every single tax increase that the CBO considers feasible, it would only reduce the debt by 12.8 trillion over 10 years under current law. That's still short of the amount needed to balance the annual budget deficit of 2 trillion a year. We would need 20 trillion over 10 years. So keep in mind, simply balancing isn't enough. We're not even hitting the 33 trillion that's has interest expenses now at 4, 5, 6%. But let's assume Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are right, that the rich don't pay their fair share. Let's raise the income tax by 50% to help raise the deficit. And I just, for the sake of time, want to go to the very bottom line. If we define rich as anyone making over 152%, that's the top 10%. That would raise, that did raise 1.25 trillion, they paid 1.25 trillion in taxes last year. So that would give us an extra $625 billion. And all of those people making 152,000 or more would have their taxes raised to where they're paying a total of 73% of their income in taxes. That still doesn't even get us a third of the way there on the $2 trillion budget deficit. So we need three things. We need to cut spending, we need to raise revenue, and we need to raise taxes where we can to try to get in front of this $2 trillion deficit. So it's Brian Decker. Hope you have a great week.